Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Welcome to Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyam episode number 79. There are many great spiritual masters in this world. Meeting them, interacting with them, getting to know more and more about their life history, getting their blessings is a confirmed way of moving closer to God. That is, seeing the life from a devotional perspective. For that, this process is essential of having a spiritual master. Now, Thirukkolur Penpillai is exactly following this format of meeting the great master, Swami Ramanuja himself, interacting with him, knowing more and more about his life history. In fact, in the last episode, I had mentioned how information would have traveled in those days for Thirukkolur Penpillai to have accurate information about the events which had happened in Swami Ramanuja's life history. In fact, a lot of her Bhakti Rahasyams, the comparisons and the benchmarking, revolve around personalities and events in Swami Ramanuja's lifetime itself. And no doubt she got Swami Ramanuja's blessing. Now, when Thirukkolur Penpillai did not know that she was talking to Swami Ramanuja himself, how did she follow this format exactly? Did Swami Ramanuja actually bless her after listening to the entire 81 Bhakti Rahasyam? So what happened after Swami Ramanuja listened to the entire 81 Bhakti Rahasyams? You'll have to wait for 2 more episodes after this for our special episode, which is Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyam Samarpanam, where we'll be talking about what happened after the 81 Bhakti Rahasyams narration. So, in our current Bhakti Rahasyam, Thirukkolur Penpillai is benchmarking herself with another great disciple of Swami Ramanuja himself. And the speciality about this episode is, in fact, Swami Ramanuja was the only witness to that particular incident which Thirukkolur Penpillai is going to talk about. In fact, he had seen this incident, he narrated it to everyone, and from there it passed on to people far and wide. Thirukkolur Penpillai came to know about this incident. She could extract a message out of it, make a Bhakti Rahasyam, and she narrated this back to Swami Ramanuja himself. So Swami Ramanuja would have felt with this incident that life would have come to a full circle. He had told this to everybody, and this was coming back to him as a Bhakti Rahasyam. Now, this was a format which Thirukkolur Penpillai followed. Whatever she heard, whatever she read, which made a great impact on her, she immediately extracted those messages and made a Rahasyam out of it. The Rahasyam is a comparison statement out of it. Oh, this person looked at this situation differently. Oh, this person did this act differently. Did I think like that? Did I do like that? No, they did it. They experienced bliss. Oh, I didn't do or think or speak in such a way like all the great saints or devotees did. That's her. That is the purpose of her Bhakti Rahasyam. So again, even before going into the Bhakti Rahasyam, a great message, great learning for us is whatever we see, whatever we hear, we can always try to extract the good message from it and if it really impacts us to the extent that we feel that this could be life changing for us by practicing these good words, good following or doing good acts, if we feel that this can be really life changing, why not document it and going over and over those pearls of wisdom so that we can also apply those in our lives and progress spiritually. Now, in this Rahasyam, the disciple of Swami Ramanuja, whom Thirukkolur Penpillai is referencing about, is Embar Govindar. And Embar Govindar was a special devotee of Swami Ramanuja. He also happens to be the cousin brother of Swami Ramanuja. Now, Thirukkolur Penpillai's Bhakti Rahasyam number 79 goes like this: did I show compassion towards a snake like Embar Govindar did? Now, compassion towards a snake sounds very difficult, sounds complicated. It will get more complicated as we get into the incident. So just stay tuned for that. Now, this incident happened in Tirumala Hills, the abode of Lord Venkateshwara. There was a great spiritual master, Periya Thirumalai Nambi. In fact, we had a Bhakti Rahasyam about Periya Thirumalai Nambi 4-5 episodes back, where the key point was about Periya Thirumalai Nambi's humility, down to earth approach. That seems to be a common theme. All these saints, Mahatmas, they demonstrate this quality of being down to earth, being approachable very easily. So, just by reading their histories, reading more and more about them, I'm sure it would make a positive impact on us as well. So, Periya Thirumalai Nambigal was a resident of the 7 hills, that is Tirumala. And Swami Ramanuja had gone to Tirumala Hills. If the Bhakti Rahasyam is to be recapped about Periya Thirumalai Nambigal, Swami Ramanuja climbs on his knees to Tirumala Tirupati Hills. So the purpose of his visit to Tirumala was to learn Ramayana from Periya Thirumalai Nambigal. Again, one more thing to be recapped. Since we are coming to the end of the Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyam, a lot of recaps and recalls is happening here. Swami Ramanuja had 5 spiritual masters from whom he learnt various aspects of devotion and spirituality. So Periya Thirumalai Nambigal was one of them, and Swami Ramanuja learnt Ramayana from Periya Thirumalai Nambigal, sitting in Tirumala Hills, the abode of Lord Venkateshwara. Now, how much time he would have spent in learning the entire Ramayana? 1 full year. Yes, Swami Ramanuja spent 1 full year in Tirumala with Periya Thirumalai Nambigal, listening to the discourses on Ramayana, the spiritual aspects, different perspectives, interpretations. Would have been a great time for Swami Ramanuja. Now, his maternal cousin, that is Embar Govindar, he was also a direct disciple of Periya Thirumalai Nambigal. So he was anyway with him doing service to the great master. Now, Swami Ramanuja, when he came to Tirumala Hills, he was happy to be with Embar Govindar, because Embar Govindar had, in the earlier phases of their lives, when Swami Ramanuja was young, Embar Govindar had saved his life by alerting him to a murderous, sinister plot which was being planned by some people who were jealous of Swami Ramanuja. So, with that incident as well, Swami Ramanuja had an affection for Embar Govindar. So, Embar Govindar, we can say he did a great service to Sri Vaishnavism by alerting Swami Ramanuja and with that saving his life. So, whatever Embar Govindar did while being in Tirumala, Swami Ramanuja used to observe his acts very closely. He used to see how devoted Embar Govindar was to his acharya, spiritual master. So, in one such instance, he saw Embar Govindar was going to a pond to take bath. So, Swami Ramanuja is watching from a distance. Embar Govindar is approaching this pond. On the way, he sees a snake with its tongue out and which is hissing. So Govindar first feels that maybe the snake is angry. So he ignores the snake, he goes his way. He takes his bath, finishes his rituals, come back. He's on the return path when he sees the same snake there with its tongue out and hissing. Now at this point in time, Govindar stops. He comes closer to the snake. He pats the snake, lifts it, and with great courage, he puts his hand, he touches the tongue of the snake, does something, pats the snake slides away. Govindar again goes to the pond, takes a bath, comes back, and now this entire incident Swami Ramanuja was witnessing. So he stops Embar Govindar on his return path and asks him what he did to that snake. To which Govindar says, when he was going to take bath for the first time, he saw this snake with its tongue out and making a hissing sound. He thought it was doing it in anger. So he just ignored it and went away. But when he was returning, it was producing the same sound, and somewhere Govinda realized that it was not hissing in anger. That hissing sound was an outcome of something filled with pain. So he observed the snake closely, and with its tongue out, when he observed it very closely, he could see that there was a thorn stuck in the tongue, and that pain was making the snake hiss continuously. So he continues, Govinda continues that I did nothing, just removed the thorn from the snake's tongue, patted it and let it go. Now Swami Ramanuja is both elated and surprised to hear this. He says, yes, saints do display this quality of being compassionate to all living creatures, not just restricted to human beings. But oh Govinda, you went a lot more far by having that courage to put your hand inside the snake's mouth and taking the thorn out. Your mercy is all encompassing. Glories to you. So this was an incident which in fact it had touched Swami Ramanuja so much. And after that, Swami Ramanuja, when he meets his other disciples, he explains this fact, he explains this incident about the great compassionate nature of Embar Govindar. Now Thirukkolur Penpillai catches this episode. She would have heard this Like as Swami Ramanuja narrated to his disciples would have disseminated it to various groups. So similarly, it somehow reached Thirukkolur Penpillai, and she extracted the message out of it. Like she compared herself with Embar Govindar, how compassionate he was. He was such a realized soul. Unless he saw the Lord, the all-pervading Lord inside the snake also, he couldn't have done this act. So such a great realized soul, such a soul who was filled with mercy, who saw God as all-pervading. Why I'm not like that? This is her lamentation. This is her Bhakti Rahasyam. Did I show compassion towards the snake like Embar Govindar? Now, think about Swami Ramanuja. It would have, how much happiness it would have given him to listen to this Rahasyam statement, for which he was a personal witness and he was the first one to report this. Like we see in the newspapers these days, this newspaper is the first one to report this event which happened here. So this is something like something similar to that. Swami Ramanuja would have felt, oh, I was the first one to report this incident and it has come back to me. So that was the Bhakti Rahasyam. And Embar Govindar, just to add one or two words about him, he was a great disciple of Swami Ramanuja who knew nothing other than Swami Ramanuja. Even when he gets married, he spends his entire time talking to his wife about Swami Ramanuja, to the extent that Embar Govindar's mother, she complains to Swami Ramanuja that this boy is just talking about you and you alone in spite of being married. And when Swami Ramanuja approaches Govindar and counsels him that he needs to lead, if he needs to lead a family life, he should take care of his wife and what are her likes and dislikes, to which Govindar replies that it is not possible for him to think about anyone else except his spiritual master. So in the course of time, Embar Govindar enters the world of renunciation. He becomes a sannyasi because his mind is just not into this material world. So such was the great devotee, disciple of Swami Ramanuja, who was mercy and compassion personified. So that's our Bhakti Rahasyam number 79. A great message for us, definitely not to put the hand in snake's mouth. Forget putting the hand in snake's mouth. Just a mere sight of a snake is enough for us. It gives the brain would send an immediate signal to the feet to just rush in the opposite direction. So definitely that is not the key learning here. The key message here is to see God, see that divinity in everything and everyone we interact with, and develop this aspect of compassion to the maximum possible extent. Unless we see that it is the same divinity which is prevalent within us, which makes us to do so much things, take up so much activities, think positively, that same divinity is present in everything and everyone else, like Embar Govindar did, we will not develop that attribute of the all-encompassing compassion. It is agreed, it is difficult to practice, but at least listening to Embar Govindar's daring episode, we can make or we can progress in baby steps to at least reach to that state where we are showing compassion to our fellow human beings, to the non-living as well as the living creatures, giving the necessary respect. So it's a point to ponder over and make progress gradually. So that was all from our Bhakti Rahasyam 79. Stay blessed, stay devoted, and stay tuned for our Bhakti Rahasyam 80, 81 and the special edition on Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyam Samarpanam. Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.